Now, my boy said he's not a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He didn't like the dialogue. He said it was slow. Dio was too OP from the beginning, and it was over dramatic. But I want to talk about why he should still like the show. Now, in terms of the dialogue in part one, it's like that old English stage play type of language. Some people might find that cringy, but again, that's like a stylistic thing. I don't really see a problem with it. And when it comes to it being slow, JoJo is a long series. We've already had 7 parts animated, and there's still at least another 3 parts that haven't been animated yet. And the series has been running since, I believe, the 80s. So there's a lot to cover. So a slow beginning to kind of set you up for what the show is going to become, I don't see an issue with that. And honestly, if you make it to part 3, even part 2, the slow thing is no longer an issue. It's just the first season. It's a setup season. On Dio being OP too soon, I don't really see an issue with Dio being OP. Dio was the main antagonist. When you first get in there, Jonathan is kind of a spoiled brat. Just a little bit, and a little bit too idealistic. He kind of forced our boy Jonathan to grow up much sooner than he would have on his own, or at least made him face the realistics of life. Now, he turned into a vampire in the first season, and you couldn't get rid of him with bullets. You couldn't really do much with him at all unless you had sunlight on your side. But that just made for a more compelling story and made him a more worthy villain. Because if you remember, Dio whooped on them when they were young. When they grew up, Jonathan was out here really putting that boy in his place. And he had to resort to the vampirism. And he still didn't win in the end. He won off a technicality when he beat Jonathan. When it comes to the show being overly dramatic, I can't really help with that one because, it's part of the appeal to me. So like Joseph, for example. Joseph was hilarious. He was always with some of the craziest poses we've seen in the series. And on top of that, just his fighting style and his personality. He was clowning. He was goofing off. He would run away from a fight if he didn't feel like he could win. Like, very crazy moments. Let's not forget part 4 where Josuke had the blicky pulled out on him from a piece of paper. So, yeah, there's overdramatic scenes, but I really think it adds to the appeal of the show. But I could talk about JoJo all day long, man. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is definitely a show worth watching. You just kind of have to be open to not your standard anime experience. But this is one of the pioneers. This is one of the reasons that we have some of the shows that we have out there. It started some of the tropes that we have. It's featured in a lot of those parody anime that like to talk about popular anime. And then let's not even talk about how Araki is just one of the most iconic and influential figures or mangaka from all of anime in general. But, I appreciate y'all watching the videos as usual. Definitely go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.